Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go through one of the questions which I've received a lot recently on my Instagram, which is why do I only trade one Forex pair? So at the start of your Forex trading journey, you probably had numerous pairs on your watch list, every pound pair, every yen pair, and so on. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you why trading only one single Forex currency pair is the smartest move you can make as a trader, whether you're a beginner or advanced trader, and how this can also increase your chances of being profitable long term. By the end of the video, you'll see how dedicating yourself to only one pair can increase your consistency and profits, and why trading multiple different pairs could actually be the reason why you aren't profitable, or the reason that is holding you back from making more money in the markets. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first reason why I only trade one Forex pair is because it forces you to stay patient in the markets. So I have a community of around 1,400 traders, and one of the biggest problems which they all seem to message me about and have is that they simply can't sit on their hands and wait for a setup, because they don't have the patience to wait that long for one trade. So what I would say is that in trading, our job as traders is not simply to take setups every single day, but rather our job is to sit down, wait for the perfect setups, wait for price to come into our zone, and then execute if the opportunity presents itself. And trading one pair forces you to do this, because if you're only trading one pair, there simply isn't going to be a trading opportunity every single day. So you have to wait for those higher quality setups, and you simply have to wait for price to come into your zones before trading. Whereas if you're trading all of these different pairs, right, you can simply flick through every single pair until you see a valid setup. But more often than not, because you've simply jumped into the charts actively searching for a setup, this setup that you're taking on this random pair that you've never traded before is going to be low probability, and that trade may in fact win. But if you consider it over a sample size of, let's say, 10 trades, the chances of you being profitable longer term over that sample size has significantly reduced, because one, you don't have any back-tested data on that particular pair, and two, you projected your bias and forced your analysis onto the market instead of simply being patient, waiting for your setups, and only executing when the market comes to you, rather than you coming to the market and forcing yourself onto it by simply looking for a setup. So the main concept here, which I want to emphasize, is that instead of getting on the charts and actively searching for setups, what we should instead do is be patient. In the morning, set our zones, set our alerts at particular areas, and then simply wait for price to come into that area. And then if the opportunity presents, execute on that setup if it fits our plan that we have back tested and collected data on, of course. And then we can simply go from there. So yeah, being patient is one of the key aspects of consistent profitability, and trading only one pair essentially forces you to develop this patience muscle. So reason number two is that each pair is essentially like learning a new language. So each pair has its own tendencies and different characteristics depending on the asset that you are trading. For example, some pairs tend to consolidate a lot, like Euro Pound for instance. It pretty much always consolidates because GU and EU are almost perfectly positively correlated for most of the time. So Euro Pound in itself tends to just consolidate because pound and euro aren't that much different. Whereas you get other assets such as gold, which often impulsively move in one direction and the other. They tend to trend a lot. This year, for example, gold has just been in this parabolic trend. So getting to know only one Forex pair essentially allows you to forecast the market better and predict exactly where it may go. For example, myself personally, I trade GBP USD. That is the only Forex pair that I trade. And because I've focused on this pair for the past 3 years, only trading it every single day, very, very often when I come to do my morning analysis, this analysis will play out exactly as I have forecasted, because I know based on the time of day, based on the session, where price is likely to go. For example, in London session, GBP USD very often takes out Asia low or high, and you can use that in your analysis because you know that once price has taken out those levels, it will very often go in the opposite direction. Timing of day is also very important as well, and each pair will move at a different time of day. For example, GU will move in London between 8 and 10 UK time, and then after 10 until New York session starts at around 1 p.m. it will tend to just consolidate. It will be very corrective and slow price action, which you basically don't want to be trading because I found that these are lower probability conditions. However, if you had focused on all of these different pairs, then you simply wouldn't know this information and you wouldn't be able to take advantage of it in order to increase your win rate and increase your profits, just because you're taking this more sporadic approach and taking any trade that comes to you, whether it fits your plan or not, and you don't have to essentially learn the ins and out of this pair. And it comes back to the cliche saying of I'd rather know a lot about a little rather than a little about a lot. In this case, a lot meaning multiple different assets and pairs. So it's much better, I've found through 3 years of experience, to specialize on only one pair, because you get to learn the unique characteristics and tendencies of that one pair. Okay, so the final reason is that it essentially makes it much easier to improve your trading results. And the reason why is because when you're only trading one pair, every time you go and do a market forecast or your morning analysis, you're only focusing on that one pair. So then when it comes to the end of the day, you can go back through, study the price action intricately and in much greater detail than if you were trading all of these different pairs. Let's say you had 20 different pairs to do your daily review on. That's going to take you a very long time, and the quality of your review is going to go down a lot because you're simply trying to do all of these different pairs at once rather than just honing your focus in on one particular pair. So let me show you what I do at the end of every single day and why this helps me to improve my trading, and why only trading one pair is essentially what allows me to do this every single day. So right here you guys can see that I have my trading journal, which is in Notion, and at the end of every single day I do these daily performance reviews. So if we click on one, we can see that what I'll write up here is a summary of what I was looking at the beginning of the day. And then right at the bottom, I will do a summary of how the price action actually played out. So whether my analysis was correct, whether it played out as I had forecasted, or whether it didn't play out how I forecasted. And because I'm only trading one Forex pair, I can do this every single day relatively quickly in around half an hour or so, just because I only trade this one pair. So I'm able to basically study the price action at the end of every single day. I know what price has done that day. I know what my forecast is for tomorrow, and I don't have to do a forecast for 10 different assets or however many pairs you actually do trade. And similarly, at the end of every single week, I also can do my weekly review, and it only takes around 1 to 2 hours because I can go back through, study everything that pair did, in this case GU, everything that GU did that previous week, and I can study exactly what happened on every time frame, and it doesn't take me too long. But not only that, every time I do this, I am going back to point number 2. I'm learning all of the unique characteristics and tendencies of this pair, which is sort of becoming something that I can recognize automatically and from intuition, based on the fact that I've seen it play out over and over again on this one pair over the past 3 years. So I've seen my setup happen time and time again. So when I'm doing this, I can begin to intuit and forecast where the setup might happen, when there isn't going to be a setup, which allows me to plan my day around this. But also it means I don't have to essentially sit in front of the charts all day. I know when there's going to be a setup and when valid trades are likely to form. So every single week I'll go through the price action, I'll write up any of the missed trades, missed opportunities, and any of the trades which I actually took. And this is made possible by the fact that I'm only trading this one pair. If I instead was trading 20 different assets, then it would be, very time consuming. It would probably take multiple days to go back through the price action and study it in detail. And like I said before as well, doing this would be counterproductive because I'm trying to memorize all of these different languages or pairs at one particular time, which I think for the average person is not possible, and it's just going to overcomplicate your trading and make it unnecessarily difficult for yourself. So that's also why I would stick to just trading one pair. As always with any new system, make sure you backtest this first and collect some actual data on it. You'd be surprised at how many people message me on Instagram or YouTube saying that they are trading a funded account or trading a personal account and don't actually have any data on their strategy. So make sure you backtest it first, and I'm very certain that this will help to improve your trading results. And if it did help you to make more profit and money in the markets, make sure to let me know in the comments section below. But if you guys did manage to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give the video a like. Make sure to subscribe for new videos every Friday, and I will catch you in the next one.